Hey guys, today we're going to be reacting to the story of Fortnite's new superstar, AsianJeff. Hope you guys enjoy. Please like, subscribe, comment any other videos you want me to react to, and let's get into it.
To competitive Fortnite, we've seen many players like Clix, Mr. Savage, and Mongrel blow up. But ever since then, nobody has been able to recreate what they've done. Until now, with AsianJeff. So today, we're going to take a look back to see how against all odds, AsianJeff became Fortnite's newest superstar. Jeff started his streaming career on November 6, 2018, playing Overwatch and Fortnite. Throughout the next few months, he would continue to stream almost every day to just a couple of viewers. And eventually, he would upload his very first YouTube video on February 20th, 2019. This video was a 22 kill win, and to those who knew of him early on, could see that he had potential to be a top player. It was also around now where Fortnite started hosting their first online tournaments. However, he didn't do well in any of them. But eventually, Epic would announce the biggest tournament in the game's history, the Fortnite World Cup. This was a chance for Jeff to finally get his name out there like many other players were doing back then, but that wouldn't happen quite yet. He was able to get his first earnings in week 2 of duos, and even ended up killing Tfue in the last week of solos. But other than that, his performances in the other weeks were not very good. And during this time, he was putting in the hours, streaming pretty much every single day, yet he was still only averaging a few viewers. But everything would change towards the end of 2019. Early on in Fortnite, many players participated in wagers, more commonly known as tokens nowadays. And there was one person back then known as easily the best player in them, and that was Clix. He would take down pretty much any player with ease, and that would be how Clix really started to gain his following. However, there was one player who made Clix have to work for the win, and that was AsianJeff. He would end up styling on him so much that at the end of the wager, Clix would let him shout out his Twitter, giving him his very first boost in viewership. Now this boost wasn't anything too crazy, but he did go from averaging around 10 viewers compared to the 5 viewers before. And it's worth mentioning that this Jeff was a completely different one than we know nowadays. Back then, he wasn't the loud and super hyper version that he is today. Instead, he was pretty calm and acted like pretty much any other player. Around now would also be where FNCS would start for the first time. However, he would play pretty poorly throughout Season X trios and Chapter 2 Season 1 squads. Now going back to when he first played against Clix, it actually opened up a pretty big door for him. Jeff ended up playing against Clix a few more times, helping to grow his socials even more, especially when Clix ended up shouting out his YouTube one time, helping him reach over 1,000 subscribers. Since he was frequently going up against and beating Clix more and more, people wanted to find out who exactly this kid was. And since people started to realize that he was really good, he'd start going up against more pros like Skeptic and Zexro. This now brings us into early 2020, where he had just reached over 10,000 followers on Twitch and was averaging around 150 viewers. And this would also be where we would start to see more of his weird personality and being toxic to those that he would go up against, which he would obviously be known for later on. For the next couple months, he'd continue to play tournaments and make content. Now his placements wouldn't actually get that much better, with him only being able to pull off a handful of top 100s, and throughout that time not being able to earn at all. However, his streams were a completely different story. In May, seemingly out of nowhere, his viewership would more than double, with sometimes averaging 700 viewers. And eventually in June, he would reach 100,000 followers on Twitch. Throughout those months leading up to it though, pretty much everything would remain the same. His Twitch was doing better than he could have ever dreamed of, but his placements in Fortnite were not what he wanted. Everyone could clearly see that Jeff wasn't an extremely good player, but he started to get labeled as just a creative warrior. Jeff would easily take down some of the best pros, but in tournaments, he struggled to even break the top 1,000. Until Chapter 2 Season 3 Solos FNCS, he finally was able to take another step in becoming a pro. Jeff was able to play very consistently in the qualifiers, and because of this, he managed to make his first ever FNCS heats. Now as expected, he didn't do too well in the heats, but this was still a massive step in the right direction. And quickly this proved true, with him making the solo DreamHack finals just a week later. And in November, he would end up getting 4th in a solo Cash Cup, which would be his first ever top 10 in a Cash Cup as well. These tournaments ended up being the first time he was able to make money in almost an entire year. We are now heading into 2021, and Jeff is averaging around 400 viewers every stream, and it seems like his placements are starting to get much better. And this trend would seem to continue into that year. He wouldn't do well in the first 2 FNCSs, only managing to make it to one of the heats, and on top of that, he hit another streak of not being able to earn in any tournaments. Until June in the FNCS All-Star Showdown. To qualify for this event, you needed to place well enough in the Chapter 2, Season 5, and 6 Grand Finals in order to reach the top 90 players that qualified through there. And the remaining 10 spots would be rewarded to those who placed within that during the Opens that were available to anybody who hadn't yet qualified. So with Jeff not having the best track record in tournaments, especially FNCS, nobody was ready for what would happen. In the first 3 rounds, he was playing out of his mind, placing top 100 in each session. So when it came time to the set lobby finals, all eyes were on him to place within that top 10. Somehow, Jeff not only qualified, but he would win the entire tournament, making it into his very first ever FNCS Grand Finals. Now, as expected, he wouldn't do the best, but considering this was his first Grands, getting a 73rd isn't the worst. But most importantly, after this, something would click for Jeff. He started consistently placing. On top of that, FNCS was going very well with his new trio, which was Elige and Oliver OG. But sadly, in the heats, they placed 7th, just a few points away from making it into the Grand Finals. And in Season 8's FNCS, he wouldn't even make the heats. But Jeff didn't let this stop him. Now we were heading into Chapter 3, a fresh start for every player, and with the new FNCS game mode being duos, he decided to run it with a pro named Plague. They ended up doing very well in FNCS, making the semifinals, then placing 4th in it, qualifying him for his second Grand Finals. But even though they ended up being uncontested, they only managed to come through with a 36th. However, he did see a little boost in viewership because of him qualifying, plus this was just more experience for Jeff to learn from. And little did he know, Season 2 would be his best one yet. After playing with multiple teammates at the beginning of the season, Jeff would ultimately decide to run it back with Oliver OG. In the FNCS qualifiers, they were on pace to make it to the heats, but in week 3, they ended up barely placing 5th in the finals, which meant that they had just secured their spot in the Grand Finals once again. And after it was all said and done, they managed to pull off an 11th place. So far, his best FNCS yet. But unfortunately, this would be his last Grand Finals he's made till this day. In Season 3, he decided to keep playing with Oliver, but not after making Round 3 in FNCS Week 1. He decided to drop OG last second and instead run it with Peterbot. And this decision seemed to work out pretty well, with them placing 36th in the Week 2 finals. But then, right before Week 3 started, Peterbot...
Hey guys, let me know in the comments if Peterbot is cheating or he's just fucking crazy. I'm gonna say crazy, but he also might be cheating. I don't know.
Would drop Jeff to play with his old duo. So that meant he had to run it back with OG. And since they technically only had 1 week to qualify, that meant they pretty much had 0 chance at making the finals. But after doing some calculations, they realized that if they placed 10th in that week's finals, they would have a chance at making the semis. However, yet again, they would fall just short, getting 11th place. Now, competitive might have been a roller coaster for him throughout Chapter 3, but his streams would stay relatively the same. Most importantly though, he was starting to become a recognizable name, especially after creating clips like these.
Ever gone drop shots? Oh my god! Oh my god, this kid has no father figure. I'm blocking him.
Heading into 2023, Jeff had managed to accumulate over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube and 250,000 on Twitch. But nobody was ready for what would happen this year. Up until this point, Jeff was mainly focusing on competitive, trying to get the best placements he possibly could. But in Chapter 4, he decided to start focusing more on content and being a lot more expressive. Because of this change, he would see again another dip in placements. However, he did still manage to qualify for the Season 2 Grand Finals, where he played placed 29th. But it would be in that later half of the year where things would really start to pick up. He now would have some streams that saw him easily averaging over 1,000 viewers. And for content, he started playing tournaments with much more known people like Kanata and Kent Beans. On top of that, he now started putting in more effort into his YouTube. Instead of just posting montages, he was now posting tournaments and making sure these videos were really good. So because of that, these videos started gaining hundreds of thousands of views, which would also help him gain more viewership on Twitch. It was looking like Jeff was on top and nothing could stop him. But somehow, everything was about to get much better. In November, Epic released Chapter 4 Season 5, an OG season going back to the original Fortnite map. And as I'm sure you all know, this season broke records for player count and viewership.
Yeah.
So seeing this, he had to work harder than ever to take advantage of this opportunity. Pretty much every stream, there were multiple clips of him that would go viral. He took his already crazy personality on stream and upped the intensity by 10. Everybody wanted to see who this guy was. And within just a few weeks, he had gone from averaging around 1,000 viewers to sometimes over 10,000. Like I said in the beginning of this video, we've never seen anything like this pretty much since Chapter 1. And not only were his streams popping off, his YouTube exploded in popularity. He would get multiple videos to break over 1 million views, even uploading one called AsianJeff Wins the Solo World Cup, which was actually just him winning a solo rank tournament. However, that video still managed to gain over 4 million views. And if it couldn't get any better, he even managed to get Jinxie, the most sub to person on Twitch, to hop on Fortnite and 1v1 him. But at the end of the day, it was really these kinds of clips that made him so popular.
No! Oh! No! Who's daddy?
Too loud, too loud.
Too loud, hasta piedad.
Show my mom's selling me. All Roji.
To those looking in for the first time, you'd probably think that he seemingly blew up overnight, but that's far from the truth. Jeff has been putting in the hours for years, and is now finally reaping the benefits of his hard work. And now he's reached almost 800,000 subscribers on YouTube, plus he recently hit 1 million followers on Twitch. And this would end up being his mom's reaction to that.
Mom, start crying. 1 million followers, Mom.
So?
Now Jeff did have to slow down on the streams recently as he had to go visit family, and he even made a video talking about how he fears that he'll fall off in this time away. However, he has still been able to do some streams, and he's still posting on YouTube. But even if he did have to stop for a few weeks, I have no doubt that he'll still be on top. Jeff has shown throughout the years that if you put in hard work and try your best, you'll eventually see success. And that's exactly why he's become Fortnite's newest superstar. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 100k subs at the end of 2024. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your days. Peace out.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the story of Fortnite's newest superstar, AsianJeff. Please comment, subscribe, like. I said that backwards, we don't talk about it. It's Tazzy. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.